Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to make a slow stitching pouch. While I'm doing it, I want to talk about something instead of stitching. Talk about some of my recent life. Actually, I'm kind of really busy this day. I have my dental appointment for myself, for my daughter, and then my daughter is going to basic school next year, so there's a couple of orientation. And springtime in Sydney, so I have really bad hay fever, and work is really busy. One of my colleagues resigned, so I have to share part of the workload. So that means I work 6 days a week. And even when I'm working from home, I'm not doing craft. I'm like working really hard to get the job done. And then shoop, it's 3 o'clock, and I need to pick up my daughter from school. So it's like juggling, multitask, and I'm very exhausted. Like around 6 o'clock, but I need to get my daughter to shower. She's very lingering and play hours in the bath. And then she'll play like half an hour by herself or with other family members. And then I need to brush her teeth because she didn't brush well, and the dentist tell me that parents should do her brushing teeth after she brush by herself. So there's another task. And after that, and she will go upstairs, and I need to oversee her homework, kind of like workbook, and no, learning numbers and words, that kind of stuff, and it's taking an hour. And then she will want to read, and a lot of cuddles, kisses, go to toilet, etc. So after all this task done is 9 o'clock, 9:30 ish, and I usually sleep at 10:30, 11 ish. So that's the time that I do the slow stitching. You see me upload video like every day, but actually I'm breaking the task like in different days. I'm doing, for example, I'm making this little pouch, and I just work on small parts like half an hour also each day. But this can help me to get the things going. And sometimes my husband asks me, if you feel tired, why not just go to bed? But the problem is, I don't know whether other people have the same problem. I'm not overthinking, I'm not anxious, but maybe inside I am anxious. I'm anxious without knowing myself, because when I go to bed my mind is really active. I just keep telling myself, deep breathe, not thinking too much, don't think about tomorrow, don't think about things to do, but things will pop up in your mind. I don't know whether it's something to do with middle age. Is it middle age crisis or hormone or anything? It's just I'm very good sleeper. Right until I have my daughter. I sleep really well, can sleep 10 hours. Sleeping is one of my favorite activities. But after I have my daughter, sleeping is impossible for almost a year. And then I get back to sleeping routine, trying to sleep earlier. And I just couldn't. Sometimes I just can't sleep. I don't know what I'm thinking. Something popped up in my mind. Maybe something like, oh, going to school. When we should buy the school uniform, that kind of stuff. And sometimes I'll think about the things I'm stitching. Oh, I can do that with different stitching and I put in different color. It's just not important. All these little things just pop up in your mind without control. Um, so even I sleeps, go to bed when I feel tired, I still can't sleep. So that's why I get to the routine of stitching a little bit every day before I go to bed. This helped me to calm down and really, really enjoy the time of being with myself, because I live in a household that with a lot of people, a lot of activity, a lot of animals. Um, I have only one child. Um, like people coming and going all the time. My daughter's friend would come and visit her, and she loved running up and down. My mom live with us, and she was just constantly doing all sort of housework. Even I told her not to. And we have 3 cats constantly demanding food, especially the two uh, smaller cats that they love eating wet cat foods. So if not feed it, they'll get really, really cranky. And right after they having the wet cat food, they want to go out. They want to go out, maybe go to toilets or maybe just like play around. And if I don't let them go, and they'll just scratching the door, follow you everywhere. If you keep ignoring them, and they will treat you and do all sort of naughty things. Sometimes cat can be quite annoying compared to dogs. When people talk about cat and dog, which is better, and the cat person will say, dog, you need to walk the dog, and dog's really demanding and you need attentions. But cat can get along by themselves. You don't need to play with them, you don't need to walk them, and they pretty much can feed by themselves. But I've been having and cats like for many, many, many years, like almost all my lifetime. I would to say cats are demanding. Cats really, really demanding. And some cats doesn't have good personalities, especially my ginger cats. He's a boy and he's really, really naughty, and from his eyes you know what he's thinking, because some cats will sit and lay on your back, but that's fine because it's on the surface of the bed. But he will crawl underneath your doona, your bed cover. He will just hide under the all sort of things in the bed. Not until that you go to sleep and then you hear that weird noise like snoring, then you know the cat's in your bed. And when we go for holiday, even just overnight, because we don't allow the cats to go out when we are on holiday, they are inside. They are not happy, especially ginger cats, and he will just I don't know whether I should say that. He would just poo and pee everywhere. It's not because of the cat litter. It's not because we not putting enough litter tray or food or anywhere. Only because he want to go out. He want the wet cat foods, but it's not available when we are in holiday. He is not happy. Okay. Yeah. Enough. Whinging about my personal life. I just want to share with you some of my recent experiments. Not experience. Of my dental experience. I have my dental check, and then the dentist say, my teeth have bone loss like over 20%, so it's not good. And need a deep clean to prevent the bacteria build up, and hopefully, the bone loss can kind of like stop or slow. So I have to do the deep clean, which cost me $1,500 for the whole treatment, and the treatments break into two parts. So the dentist will do my one side, and then after 1 or 2 weeks, she will do the other side. I have to say I'm really nervous. I'm so anxious. I think that's because I can't sleep in these days because I'm very anxious inside, subconsciously, but I don't talk about, that I'm anxious. I need to put a brave face to, especially to my daughter. I tell her that I'm going to the dentist. I'm behaving really well. I just don't get a sticker. Yeah, so I went to the dentist, and I thought this is like because the dentist told me it's 80 minutes, and I think, yeah, I went there 80 minutes, that's done, and I go back to work. But it's not more than I thought. Because the dentist need to put in a local yeah, the dentist say that there will be local anesthesias. But even that, I'm a bit anxious. I really scared of pain. I think that's because I've been seriously ill when in my childhood, and like needles every day, and I developed like a unrational fears of seeing doctors, dentists, and having needle. So I asked for more anesthesias, and the dentist say, oh, we can put the happy gas. So she put the happy gas on me. I know the gas doesn't really help. That's because when I have my daughter, the childbirth, I use gas, but it doesn't help any of the pains. I know it's not really working, but I want it anyway because there's no other option. So yeah, happy gas on me, and then I start feeling I'm floating. I'm really conscious what they did on my teeth, and I still can see the pain, feel the pain, and my mind is really active, thinking all sort of things. But I feel that my my soul is kind of floating and seeing my body, and just the sensation is so unreal. I'm disconnect to the reality, and I did feel really happy. I feel that I'm so relaxed that I can just keep floating and not going back to the reality. And then I think about my kids, and then all the housework, all the work is so unreal, so far away. I'm at that moment enjoying that, the floating. Even the pain is kind of like I can feel that, but it's bearable. It's kind of like enjoyable. Um, it's just so weird, that feeling. And because the floating is, it kind of like have a bit of seasick feeling, but not that you want to vomiting or something, but just you're kind of like, in the air. So after procedures, I need to breathe in and breathe out some oxygen to get the happy gas out. And then I'm starting to kind of like come back to reality. Like I am not like the sounds is no longer far away, but it's come close to me. And then I feel like, oh, I'm kind of like from nighttime to daytime, and then everything became clear to me. And then at that moment I'm panic. I'm panicked because I'm going back to reality. And and then I remember I have tons of work to do. I need to still mulching my garden, and I need to pick up my daughter at 3:30, and oh my God, I have to drop her to swimming after that. Another, all sort of things just suddenly come back to me, like I'm like, oh, can you put me back to sleep? Can you give me more gas? That moment I feel that I'm in drug. I'm the person who never drink any alcohol. I'm not taking cigarette. I never take drugs. But at the moment I feel like I just feel like I need some of knockout to just take me from reality. Is it that bad? I think sometimes I think being a mom and having a full-time job and being a woman that capable to do many things is such a hard task. And yes, like modern society that calling women to be independent, we need to work, we need to social financial independence, we need to be strong to be a role model to our children's. We need to be kind to parents, to all sort of people, and we need to do things by ourselves. We don't pass the negative energy to other people. But sometimes I just want to yell out, say, I I don't give it a blah. Yeah, I just want to be alone. I want to be alone to do my own thing. Not no any more demand from me. Um, Sometimes I feel that I'm so wanting to be alone that I really want to tell my family to go away. Just go away somewhere, go somewhere else and leave me alone in the house. I, I'm not wanting to be alone to do particular thing. I want to be alone to just get myself back. Like, time the time of being alone is so important. I don't know why people never talk about being alone. People talk about going to party, birthday party, wedding party, after work party, play days, and getting see the old friend connection. But how about time for ourselves? Then I feel like every day my best hour, best time, my best part of my life is devoting to something that I'm not really want to do. For example, work. Go to work from 7 to 3. That's the best time in the daytime. It's the best time that you get a bit of sunshine, have a bit of walk to get some vitamin D. And in daytime, you have the best energy to do things. But this best time, I'm devoted to work. In the office, there is no sunshine. There's only artificial lights, and you feel so tired doing all the work, but you have to keep yourself away. You can't sleep in front of your computer, so you have to drink a lot of coffee, and coffee and tea doesn't do good to your teeth and probably not good to your health. But you have to drink it to keep yourself awake, and there's so many small talk. Even you just want to sit quietly alone. And afterward, you had your second job to deal with your kids. And when they're getting older and older, it's more emotionally testing because they have their opinions and they not easily follow your rule, your orders, and you need to oversee their homework and all kind of stuff. And finally, to the nighttime. The nighttime is the time that you get rest, not doing other stuff. But there's ton of housework for you to do: cooking, washing, wash dishing, preparing the lunch for tomorrow, feeding the cats, etc. You just, all the energy is gone until the time that you finally sit beside the table alone by yourself. That's why I feel like happiness is the most luxury things in modern society, because most of most of us is not happy. There's a lot of stress built up there, a lot of things that out of our control, and you just very hard to get away from the crowds. Not like in good old days that you probably most of the time you are doing your farm work, or you're living alone and you can't see your neighbors in 20 miles. Yes, I just want to share some of my thoughts, and maybe I'm demanding too much, or maybe some other people have the same feeling with me. And yeah, I try all sort of stuff to just calm me down, and that's why I come to slow stitchings. And I like to do that every day because it's became like a routine that can every day when I get frustrated, I can tell myself that there at least one favorite activity that I'm looking forward to at the end of the day. There's still enough time for me to do something that I really, really enjoy. Making things is not the purpose, not the aim, but enjoying the process. Enjoying the process is so important in childhood. You see all the children play without, particularly want to build up anything. They like to play water and sand because that's temperate, because it's workable. Like it can be gone after they build a sandcastle, but it's a lot of fun. You still want to do that. And again you want to go back to the play that you just with unlimited possibility, unlimited explorations, but you don't care about the final products. We don't bring the sands or water back to home, right? But the process is so important that when we grown ups, we forgot, because we have to produce something. We go to work to develop service and to make products. We have our KPI and performance appraisal to measuring our productivity. Everything is about productivity. And when we homes, there's also a task that you can't avoid. You have to finish it. And there's children you really need to work on. If you don't work on your children, they will become, I don't know, get loose on became a criminal, I don't know. But you have to spend a lot of resource and time with things other than yourself. And you have to build up a relationship with your partners, maintain a good marriage, and you have to talk to your parents, get them around to, and live well happily until their, the final day. There's all sort of thing, all sort of responsibility on you, and you just can't get away. We can't just get away. That's the problem. Probably I think work may be easier, because when you get to a retirement age, you no longer work, and there may be enough money to support you to the retirement, but there's still other responsibility. Responsibility to your children and to other staff and to your community. Maybe only till the stage that your child grown up and only you and your partner, or just by yourself, then you finally feel maybe relief. But that absolutely emptiness can drive people crazy, from super busy, full of tasks, full of responsibility. and then suddenly to emptiness, to so many free time that you don't know what to do. Maybe I think in the future society can have a better solution, that we can have a bit more life work balance, that we can stretch the work into old age, but every week we just work certain hours, like 2 3 days a week, not 5 6 days a week, and maybe you know the less work stress can have people to have children in an early age, so we can have more energy to deal with the children. I don't know, there's nothing is perfect. Nothing is as perfect as your expectations, but we have to deal with that. That's why we have to have some hobby and some thing to maintain our like mental health. Even ordinary people need a bit to maintain mental health, because yeah, not yeah, mental health is such a, I don't know, a word, a taboo words, that no one want no one want themselves have any mental problem. But I think we everyone do have a bit of mental problem. It's just whether it's too many or just a little bit, or whether it's doable or something that out of control. Yeah, so that's just some of my thoughts. Okay, I have done the decorated stitches, and then I sew the cover with the lining, and I'm planning to do like a little pouch like that, and I add a snap button, sew on snap button, and I'm going to hem all the edges all along the both sides. I'm going to do the opening one, this line, because after I doing this, I can go around the outer circle, the outer edge, and do it as one go. I like to use either blanket stitches or wisp stitches. Usually I will use blanket stitches, but this one, it has a wedding, so it's a bit of um, thick, so I like to use wisp stitches to just hemming very narrowly to the edge, and it's also quick as well. Sometimes I just like it to be easy and quick and needed. Blanket stitches need more time and more threads, so you can choose whatever stitches you like. Either way, it can hold the edge more flat, and it have more sturdy structure. When you sew the cover with lining, if you can use either machine or by hand, but either way, don't worry if your stitches line is not super straight. I'm not really good at using machine and sew the straight stitches, but um, yeah, but when you do the hemming by hand, you can adjust. So if the line is not even, you can tuck in the part that stick out. So there's still room to maneuver and adjust. So at the end, um, your your pouch will be very straight and knitted. That's the beauty of hand sewing. You can always adjust. You can always like um, make it very flexible. You can alter the shape a little bit when you do the final hemming. So you can see I done the opening a straight line, and then I start doing the outer line, the outer edge, and I'm doing um like a full, I don't know how to say that, but I sew the two um two layers with stitches, and then I go around all the edges. When you sew the corners, you will find that the corner usually is a little bit bulky, but that's all right. When you turn the corner, you clip the corner, and then you turn the corner, you still found it bulky, and then you can use a pin or needle to try to get the stuck fiber out, so it can be more knitted. um, and when you stitch at the corner, you can stitch very close to the edge, so it can't be that bulky. You don't need to go through all layers. You can just go through the cover and the lining layer, so you don't need to go through the seam. So if you run out of threads, as I always do because I like to use all the end of the thread, you can always make a knot, and then you can hide the tail of the thread. So you make a knot, and then stitch through inside of the layers, and then try to stitch through a little bit further from the knot, and then you click, and then it will disappear. So the tail will hide between the layers, and then you can restart your another thread. I like to use beeswax to stiffen the thread, and it will be very easy to go through the eyes of the thread of the needles, because the wax, when you apply wax, it can not only stiffen the threads but make the thread a little bit flat, like it's like a not round but flat, so like a piece of paper, so it can easily go through the eye of the needle. So that's a must. I always use that. When you restart the stitches, you can use the method of quilting, like you can stick in the needle a little bit further than the place that you want to restart, and you can try to pull a little bit. Sometimes the knots can go through the seams or the fibers, and then it can nicely tuck between the layers. Even it can't be tucked in, it can be hide under the rib rack. So you can find a place to hide the knot, so it won't it won't be that obvious. But if you can't hide it, that's fine. It's the beauty of hand sewing. You can be a little bit do whatever you like. I really enjoy this part of finishing because one, it can finish the pouch and make it into something useful. People love this type of creative pouch. And two is this repetitive with stitches is like a no-brainer that you don't need to think about anything. You don't even need to think about color combinations, how to collage the fibers, etc. You just stick through it on like stitches by stitches. Very, very relaxing. I find it really relaxing. I used to do a lot of English paper piecing using width stitches. I think I'm a bit obsessed with, these width stitches. It's so needed, so easy, so straightforward, and I can tell you it's really strong. I have hand sewing some clothes with width stitches, and the stitches never come out. It stays almost forever. I've been wearing my handmade clothes for many years, and the stitches still hold on. So see, it's super strong stitches. And after all the edging, I come to the state of putting the sew on snap button. Not many people use this type of sew on button because there's a lot of snap button that you can just snap and put in with some tool. I have those two and I've been using for a while, but I don't know. I don't like it. Even the best tool that you need to put a bit of strain, like you really need to push in, and sometimes if the button didn't put in correctly, you need to take the button out. I just don't like it. I don't like the too many tools to do some simple tasks. Actually, it's very straightforward. For this sew on button, you just need to sew with threads, go through the holes for 3 times, and then move to next hole, and then another 3 times. After you've done 4 holes, and you can hide the knots behind the snap button, and that's done. And it's very, very strong stitches. The snap button won't come out. Why? Because I've been doing this for ages and none of the button comes out. All this sew on button never ever come out, and it is reusable. If the clothes or whatever that you sew on, you don't use that anymore, you can take the buttons out and reuse it many times. That's this sew on button is super cheap, and think about, you can use many times. It just costs nothing. But those machine sewn on button that use tools, once you snap it to the fibers, you can't take it out. You can't reuse it. You either cut the snap button with the fiber and then apply the fiber to the things that you want to add button, or you need to destroy the button and take it out from the fibers. Either ways, it can be reused, and it's not recyclable, and it's not cheap. Those good quality button is not cheap, but this sew on buttons is cheap, and it can be used many times. I just don't know why people never use it nowadays. Anyway, so that's pretty much done. Let's have a look the other one. So you just kind of like eyeball it, and then you go through the needle to that loop, and then it can secure nice and sturdy, and same as the other one that you sewed on. So 3 times on a hole, and then move to another little hole. They call these snap buttons male part and female parts. I find it really, really funny, and that's the very accurate descriptions. The male parts, you have the the things that stuck out, and the female part have the hollow holes to so these 2 buttons, when it snaps, the stick out things can go into the hollow hole. It sounds a bit funny, isn't it? Yeah, but that's how we distinguish that 2 sign of snap button. Compared to those button that need some other tools or machine or press, these sewed on button only have 1 male part and 1 female part, but the other stuff that none sewed on ones, it has male part, female part, and then 2 other little ring to hold on the things to the fibers. I found it really, really annoying, because every time I put the button in, I need to trying to match accordingly. I just not really enjoy doing that. I enjoy doing some simple stuff like button, sew on snap button, tie. We can use tie around the button. It can hold on pretty well. And Velcro is fine. For things that for small children, I like to use Velcro, because you don't need, their little hands can handle buttons and sewn on button, but they can easily pull the Velcro open and close. And how about zipper? I'm not a good fan of zipper. Same reason that you need to sew the zipper to the fibers. I think it just take a bit of time. But I like to reuse those zipper that I save from old clothes, because zipper can last for a long, long time, and it can be used many times. But I don't buy new zippers. So there's a lot of way that you add closer to a pouch or a bag, or you can even leave the opening open, like tote bags, simple foraging bags for children. There's actually a lot of options. You can use those measuring tape to add to the opening. It's like a snap band. You can just squeeze a snap band and then open it, and it can automatically close. I've been trying all sort of ways, but many times that I come back to the old-fashioned way, which is sew on button and button with ties. So yes, that's how it look. I'm going to wash off the marking, the blue marking. It will be gone after I put waters in. Ironing or not doesn't matter. I usually don't iron. So that's it. It can put in some cards, keys, small things, and I hope you enjoyed it.